Okay, you want to help me take some pictures? Let's do it. Hey everybody, welcome to eBay with Chris. I'm on a journey to build an eBay business from $0 to $3,000 monthly profit in just 12 months. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I take pictures in my new photo station setup. I've had it up for probably about a month or so at this point, and I like it. It's much better than taking pictures on the floor, but you can see I've got my lights right here, as well as my yardstick nearby, and my poly bags and my scale is right off camera right here. So everything's set up, but in this video you can watch me do it. I'd appreciate any feedback that you might have, and hopefully it also helps you set up your system. And if you're interested in any of the equipment that I use, anything from my lights to my scale to my printer, I have affiliate links down below. And of course, anytime you buy something using those links, it's going to help out the channel, which I really appreciate. And also in this video, we're going to look at my eBay reports for the week of October 16th through October 22nd. And also we're going to look at every single thing that sold. You can see what the buyers paid, what eBay paid me, and of course my profit on each of those items. Let's go. So I start with an overall picture. Then I grab my yardstick. I'm going to take a picture of the length from the shoulder down to the waist. And I get a close-up of that dimension. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the pit to pit. And I got that. It's a little bit awkward. It works. Then I go ahead and take a picture of the label. And I have the size. There's the size right there. Tiny. And I'm going to take a picture of some defects. There's a little bit of a stain right here. And then some snags up here. Okay. And I have this logo on the sleeve I'm going to take a picture of. I just take a picture of anything that might be interesting on the item. Now I'm going to get a picture of the tag on the inside. In this example, the tag is basically blank. The care tag has been washed, completely washed out. Turn it around. I'll take a picture on the back side. So this is an REI cycling shirt. You see the pockets here on the back. And I'm just going to get an overall picture of the back. And I don't think there's any details on here I need to show a close-up of. So the next step is I'm just going to go ahead and fold it. Like this. And then I'm going to go ahead and bag it and put a label on it and take a picture. Grab a bag from the back here. A little bit awkward. Take one of my pre-printed labels. Just put it on there. There you go. And now I'm going to put this on the scale and take a picture of the weight and the label at the same time. Move it back so I can see the weight. And there you go, all done. Well, next thing I do is I put it in the storage box, which is right here. And then when this box is full, I take it out to the garage. Let's check out more items that sold. Okay, this first item is Carhartt. And as you know, Carhartt is super hot right now. You can find them in almost any condition, trashed, and they will sell because people want them. Even in that condition, they actually probably want them more. However, this Carhartt item is the exception that proves the rule. So I got these 7 months ago. They've been in my store for 7 months, so I got them back in March. And they're Carhartt Relax Fit Chino khaki pants. Beige color, of course. And I was asking 15 bucks for it. This buyer accepted a 10% offer at $13.50, and they were all in for $25.82. After fees, eBay paid me $13.16 for a profit of 10 bucks. So I would buy almost anything Carhartt, even these, because they did sell, and I still did make 10 bucks, but it took them a while. So I picked up these Rail Rider hiking pants. I buy almost all hiking items, hiking related outdoor type of Gorp Core items. I love all those brands. They're my favorite. I hadn't heard of Rail Riders, but I picked them up just because they were kind of in that niche and I wanted to test them out. It did take them 6.5 months to sell, so they're not a popular item. It's not a BOLO item. I would not recommend them. But this buyer offered 20 bucks, which I took. They were all in for $26.65. eBay paid me after fees $17.73, so I still made a profit of 15 bucks. But Rail Riders, probably won't buy them again. Here we have a pair of LL Bean jeans, and these were in my store also for 6.5 months, so they did take a little while to sell. They're women's size 14, black, elastic waist. That's maybe another thing. I don't know if elastic waist is very popular right now. Probably not. But this buyer did pay my full asking price of $19, so they were all in for $35.04. eBay, after fees, paid me $21.37 for a profit of 18 bucks. So the profit was still good. A lot of that profit was actually made on the shipping costs. So I actually made $7 on the shipping label. Kind of crazy. But that was calculated shipping. Now I have a different shipping schedule, so this would have cost them about $8.55 to ship. So it would have saved them almost over $6 in shipping. Okay, here we have a Under Armour lightweight women's kind of a half zip pullover. It's got the thumb holes. It's cold gear. You know, Under Armour has their cold gear. So I was asking $19 for this. The buyer paid the full asking price, so they were all in with shipping and taxes of $27.45. After fees, eBay paid me $15.26 for a profit of 12 bucks. This did take 6 months to sell, so it sat in my store for a little while. And Under Armour is one of those brands that I don't really buy too often. I bought this early on and kind of avoid it now unless it's something special. But anyways, made 12 bucks. Calvin Klein sweatpants. So I also bought these early on in my reselling business. You can see they've been in my store for 6 months, so I bought them probably back in early April. And I was asking $15. The buyer offered $11.50, which I accepted. They were all in for $18.04. After fees, eBay paid me $10.38, and I got a profit of 7 bucks. I probably assumed at that time that Calvin Klein was a good brand to resell, and I have since learned that it is not. I learned that probably shortly after buying this. I started to get better at doing my research, but I'm glad it sold, and I'm glad I got 7 bucks profit out of it. I want my MTV. So I got these sweatpants mostly for nostalgia purposes, I suppose. I didn't think they'd have much value, but they are kind of fun to list and to take pictures of. So these are just basic sweatpants joggers with the MTV logo down one leg. And I was asking 12 bucks. The buyer offered 10, which I accepted. The buyer was all in for $19.28. eBay after fees paid me $8.17 for a profit of 5 bucks. They were in my store for 5 months. Yeah, I wouldn't do it again though. Here's an item that I would buy over and over and over again every day, all day. A North Face dry vent. It's a rain shell. It's a light jacket. It's hooded. So it's got all sorts of keywords. It's got a great brand. I was asking $44. The buyer paid my full asking price. So they were all in for $51.85. After fees, eBay paid me $36.56. And for a profit of $33. Now this was in my store for 5 months, so I did have it on an ad. I paid $2.59 ad fee, as you can see in the details there. Definitely worth it though. $33 profit. Thank you, the North Face. Go ahead and look at my eBay reports. Here we have my report for the week of October 16th through October 22nd. As you can see, I sold 23 items, which I'm pretty pumped about. Anytime I sell more than 20 items, I'm pretty excited. I can't wait till 23 is like a ho-hum week. I want to be over 30, 40, 50 items a week, but slowly but surely we're getting there. But check out my total sales for the week, $828.95. Boom. Wow, that's crazy. However, let's look at my selling costs. Super high, $448.52. That's 54% of my sales. Wow, We got to dive into that. We will. I think I figured out how that happened. So eBay paid me $356.02. That was my payout for the week, which is still pretty good. But look at my average sales price, $36.04. Wow. I think my profit with that kind of sales price is probably going to be around $17 an item. So we'll do those calculations a little bit later to find out what my profit per item was. But let's figure out what those selling costs were about. Okay, here's my sales chart for the week. As you can see, on Monday I sold about $120 worth. Tuesday and Wednesday were below 100, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday were all well over 100. In fact, it looks like Friday was about $250, and then Sunday was probably about $75. So my total item sales for the week, $465.10. That's what the buyers paid for the items themselves. They also paid shipping and handling of $339.44. What the? That's a lot. But I know what happened. Let's figure it out. In the next screen, we're going to look at the fees for the week and see what happened. Okay, here we have my fees for the week, $448.52 total fees. My final value fees, check this out, $242.44, $242.44, which is 29% of my total sales. Now, that's always around 13%. So what happened? That's 16% higher than it should be. It's more than more than double what it should be. It's actually probably around $134 higher than what it should be. But guess what happened? I actually sold a $1,000 bike this week, and the buyer returned it. And the selling fees were not reflected in this week's report because they did not give me the selling fees back until about 3 weeks later, the week of November 7th, actually. So we'll see that in a future video, but it hit me hard right here. You can also see my shipping labels were $198.65, which was less than what the buyers paid, because the buyers paid, let me go back to that screen here, the buyers paid $339 in shipping, but that also includes the cost for that person to ship the bike as well. So I definitely didn't lose money in shipping, but I can't wait to see those final value fees get reimbursed for that bike. Here, let's go ahead and look at the next screen, which is the bike. So this is the bike that I sold. I got this from my girlfriend, so she wanted to sell it. She hasn't used it in several years. It's a Brompton folding bike. I was asking like $11.95, I think, for it. I took an offer for $1,000, and you can see my actual transaction fees were $151.69. In this screen, they show the transaction fee as being zero, like they credited it back, which they did in the future. But at the time of this video, the transaction fee had not been given back to me, and that's why my final value fees were so high. That's the main piece right there, $151.69 of final value fees that had not been credited back yet this week. So I'll get that back in a future video, but that's what happened. Okay, let's go ahead and check out some more items that sold this week. I was pretty excited to find these pants. Look at these vintage Nike track pants. They got the zipper at the ankle with the little the Nike right there, and kind of some stripes going up to on the leg there. Kind of really cool pants. So I thought they were pretty original. I was asking $44 for them. Looks like they offered me $41.80, which I accepted. So they were all in for $50.16. After all the fees, eBay paid me $34.21 for a profit of $31, and they were only in my store for 5 months. This also had an ad fee cost of $2.51. Now I found a couple of these new with tags Pebble Beach women's golf shirts. They do have a couple corporate logos on them. I think on the sleeve is like a bank logo, and then on the chest is like a small golf course logo. So it wasn't like a super popular golf course. I think it's something local. So I picked them up just because they were new with tags, just to see what would happen. And one of them finally sold. And this was in my store for 3.5 months. I still have the other one. Hopefully that will sell soon as well. But I was asking $14. They offered $12. So they were all in with taxes and everything for $19.03. After fees, eBay paid me $10.76 for a profit of $8. Check out this shirt. This is really cool. So it's an Affliction t-shirt. It's got the, it also has Matt Hotch, which I'm not really familiar with, but I guess his designs are pretty popular. It has like a skull and motorcycle motif and things like that. So I thought it was really cool. I was super excited to find this item. I actually got it at a garage sale with a few other items. I think I paid like $3 a piece for these shirts. So I'm glad it sold though. I was asking $39. They offered $35, which I accepted. They were all in for $43.71. After fees, eBay paid me $30.71 for a profit of $28. So great find. Love the graphics. If you find anything like this, pick it up. It's always going to sell eventually. Here we have another North Face jacket. However, this one does have a corporate logo right on the chest. Don't be afraid of that. You know, these are useful jackets. People that want these a lot of times want them for the functionality. They're not going out on the town in them. They're going up into the woods, into the snow, and they want the functionality of the jacket. So this is a women's small. It's a thermoball eco quilted puffer jacket with Primaloft. So I got all the keywords in there. But I was asking $39. I accepted an offer of $30. If it didn't have the logo on it, I probably would have been asking like $49 for this item. But the buyer was all in for $38.18. After fees, eBay paid me $26.39 for a profit of $23, and it just took 3 months to sell. We have a hoodie by the brand Ampersand, and Ampersand, if you don't know, is like the and symbol. It's that like figure 8 type of symbol. But that's the name of the brand, is Ampersand, and a lot of times it doesn't say that. It just has that symbol in their on their label. And in this case, if you look closely, you can see it on the bottom right of the picture there, kind of near the waist. But this is a women's junior size. A lot of these Ampersand are junior sizes. It's got that floral. It does have a double hood, which is interesting. So there's a hood within a hood. So I did put that in as a keyword as well. I was asking $19. They offered $15, which I accepted. The buyer was all in for $26.15. After fees, eBay paid me $14.37 for a profit of $11. And this was in my store for just 2.5 months. Okay, so here we have a hoodie by the brand Motul. I think that's how you pronounce it, Motul. I guess it's a motor oil, which I wasn't really familiar with until I looked it up. So I did use motor oil logo in as a keyword, but otherwise it's a hoodie. It's a hooded sweatshirt jacket, full zip. I was asking $29 for it. The buyer paid the full price. So they were all in plus shipping for $43.90. After fees, eBay paid me $28.30, so I got a profit of $25. And this was in my store for 2.5 months. And I just picked up this item because it was kind of cool looking. I didn't know the logo, so I did some research on it. There weren't very many Motul items for sale, so I just went ahead and took a chance on it. I figured it was unique and someone would want it. So there you go. Recenly Hardware is another great outdoor brand. Here we have a lightweight men's pullover shirt. I use also, in addition to the keyword hike, I use the keyword run because I see this as a lightweight kind of a running pullover as well. I was asking $24. The buyer offered $19, which I accepted. And so they were all in for $26.70. After fees, eBay paid me $16.72 for a profit of $12. Actually, it should have been a profit of $13. I made a mistake on this slide here. And this just took 2 months to sell. Mountain Hardware is a good brand. Keep an eye out for it. Do your research, but I buy it all the time. Let's spend a few minutes checking out my business metrics to see how I did. As you know, I have a target of growing my store by 50 items per week, and I haven't been super successful. Last week, I grew my store by 44 items, which was pretty awesome. And so this week, I started the week with 1,055 items in my store, and I ended the week with 1,085 items in my store for a store growth of 30 items. I sold 23, so that means I listed 53 items this week. Pretty good. Store continues to grow, slower than I want it to, but it's growth and my business is doing well. So I'm still pleased. Now let's go ahead and look at my sell-through rate, my store sell-through rate. My target is 0.5%, which would mean that I would sell 5 items per day if I had 1,000 items in my store, which I do. However, I didn't sell 5 items per day. I sold less than that, obviously. I sold 23 items, which is a little bit over 3 items per day. So when you do the math, what you do is you take the number of items you sold, divide that by the number of days, and divide that again by the number of items in your store. And so I sold 23 items divided by 7 days, divided by 1,055 items in my store at the start of the week. That gives me a 0.31% sell-through rate, which means I'm selling an average of 3.1 items per day this week. Not too bad, but I still want to be up in that 0.5%. Honestly, I don't think it's ever going to happen. I was exceeding that number at the beginning of my business when it was small, but now that it's grown, I'm almost always around 0.3%. That just means in order to get the sales that I want, which I want 10 items to sell per day, I'm going to need to have a bigger store than I initially planned. If I want to sell 10 items per day, I'm going to probably need to have, oh boy, about 3,000 items, 3,000 to 4,000 items in my store in order to sell 10 items per day at a store sell-through rate of 0.3%. Let's look at my profit for the week. So my cost of goods is about $3 per item. I sold 23 items. So my total cost of goods sold was $69. If you subtract that from what eBay paid me of $356.02, my profit was $287.02. Now, my profit would have been higher if I had received that credit back for the bike. It would have been another $150 roughly. So, but that's not the numbers that I have. So I'm going to go off of what eBay paid me. So my profit, $287.02, divide that by 23 items. My profit per item was only $12.48. It still exceeds my goal of $10 per item, so I'm still happy with that. And I know I'm going to get that credit back in a future week, and my profit that week is going to be really good. It's going to be outrageous. But anyways, business is going good, and yeah, those are my numbers for the week. Let's check out more items that sold. I have some cycling bib pants by the brand DHB. I'm not familiar with the pants really, or that brand. I'm not a cyclist, so I don't know the equipment very well, but I do know it sells, so I buy it when I see it. Again, this is the brand DHB. It's got the long legs. It's padded. They're tights. Plus, it's got kind of the bib style. And so I was asking $27. It looks like they took a 10% off discount offer, so they paid $24.30. They were all in for $30.95. After fees, eBay gave me $21.50 for a profit of 18 bucks, and it just took 2 months to sell. So keep an eye out for any of these cycling bibs, whether they're long pants or shorts or whatever. This stuff does sell pretty quickly. I like the colors of this vintage flannel shirt. It's by the brand Codet. I use keywords like workwear, made in the USA, which is a really good feature. I also use the word cowboy, 80s and 90s also. And what was interesting, I put it in the condition notes, as you can see. It has an embroidery on the sleeve with a musician's website. I did look up the website because I was curious, and it looked like it was a kind of an older website, probably actually not super active anymore. But it had must have been like a local musician and a few of her songs on there. So I called that out, and also, of course, took close-up pictures of it for the buyer. But anyways, I was asking $24 for this, and the buyer paid my full asking price. So they were all in for $40.34. And after fees, eBay paid me $23.74 for a profit of $21. And it just took 1.5 months to sell. So anytime you find vintage flannel shirts, pick them up because they will sell pretty quickly. We have some Prana jeans. Now, Prana is a great outdoor brand. Now, denim jeans, this is not something that you would wear if you're out there hiking or whatnot, but maybe it's good for workwear or just out and about. But I did use the term Gorpcore because they are by the brand Prana, which is a Gorpcore brand. They're size 36, 32. In the condition notes, I put the actual measurements. I started doing that just so I didn't take up title room, putting the actual measurements in there when they're different from the tag measurements. So in the title, I put the tag measurements, and then in the condition notes, I'll put the actual measurements if they're different than the tag, which is almost always the case for pants. So I was asking $22. The buyer offered $18, which I accepted. They were all in for $27.24. After fees, eBay paid me $15.22 for a profit of 12 bucks, and it just took 1 month to sell. Great find. Marmot is another great outdoor brand. I pick up a lot of their items as well. Here we have some basic chino pants. I also use keywords like hiking and gorpcore. They're size 31-30. In the condition notes, I did call out the repaired tear on the left thigh, and it's in the right side of this picture. But I was asking $19 for these pants. The buyer offered $15, which I accepted, and so they were all in for $24.88. After fees, eBay paid me $12.48 for a profit of $9. They were only in my store for 3 weeks, so pretty quick turnaround. If they didn't have the tear on them, I probably could have got another $5 profit on this item, but I kind of discovered the tear after I bought them, which is okay. But that's the great thing, is you can still sell things with defects, right? Don't be afraid of that. If you do want your store to be defect free, it's going to be really hard to find items, I think. I sell a lot of items that have defects, and they still sell pretty quickly and for good money. Another pair of pants that also had defects on it. If you look at the condition notes, they have fade marks above the left and right pockets, as well as some pilling near the back pockets. You can tell it's probably from a backpack strap or something like that that was rubbing against the material and caused the pilling. But again, people want the functionality of these pants, not necessarily for them to be in pristine condition. These are great pants for hiking, backpacking, so they're super lightweight, they dry quickly, they're made out of nylon. REI, another great brand, so pick them up even when they do have defects, because people want these. I was asking $22, I accepted an offer of $17, so the buyer was all in for $25.36. After fees, eBay paid me $14.39. I got a profit of $11, and they were only in my store for 1 week. And I shouldn't have taken such a low offer. It's not super low, it was still within my range. I was asking $22, and I do a minimal offer. So I think my minimal offer on this was probably $17. If anyone lowballs me, it's automatically declined. I would recommend that you use that to avoid all the frustration of lowball offers. Put in your listing the minimal offer, and for me, I typically do around 20% below my listing price. So in this case, I had $22, and my low ball or my minimal offer was $17. When they offer the minimal offer or higher, then it's something that I can look at and choose to accept or not. Any offers below that will be automatically declined. LL Bean, I've been buying and selling a lot more LL Bean lately. These are some men's hiking pants. The brand or the style is called Riverton. They're cargo. I use keywords like hiking, gorpcore, and they're also kind of work related, so I use that as well. I put the actual measurements in the condition notes. You can see they're a little bit shorter than what the tag says. The tag says the inseam is 30, but they measured to be 28. I was asking $34. The buyer offered $29, which I accepted. They were all in for $39.98. After fees, eBay paid me $24.81 for a profit of $22, and they just took 3 days to sell. I love it. I have a pair of Patagonia shorts. I ended the video last week with Patagonia shorts as well. They actually sold the same day that I listed them. These only took 3 days to sell, so apparently I need to price my Patagonia shorts a little bit higher. These again are also kind of trail running or hiking shorts. They're lined, they're mesh lined. I use also the term gorp or gorpcore, but I was asking $29, and I don't know why I took a crazy low offer of $19, but obviously I was pretty happy with that price anyways. So they were all in for $23.95. After fees, eBay paid me $16.55 for a profit of $13, and they just took 3 days to sell. So apparently I need to go out and find more Patagonia running shorts and price them higher and hold out to my higher asking price, because they're selling really fast, even in the late fall and as we approach winter. Thanks a lot for watching eBay with Chris. I hope you learned something. I hope you found some new bolos or maybe some products to avoid, like some of the early items that I had in this video. They were definitely don't buys, but there's a lot of items in this video that I encourage you to keep an eye out for and buy when you see them. If you're interested in watching my journey from $0 to $3,000 profit per month, go ahead and subscribe by clicking on the button right here. And if you want to binge watch eBay with Chris or just check out some other videos, check out this one right here. Thanks a lot and take care.